Have you been hurt by someone and it's impacting you mentally? Well, I've been there many, many times. It's impacted me, my self-esteem, my confidence, my worth. So today I wanted to really talk about this, what to do if someone's really hurt you. And if you stand till the end, I have an extra point for you then. If you're a man or know a man who particularly wants to listen to topics on men's mental health, then check out my brand new podcast, the Men's Mental Health and Growth Podcast, linked in the show notes below. There are many times in my teenage years and early 20s when, and actually as a kid as well, when I was shouted at or just told off, or and it didn't feel very good. I was very scared of getting any criticism, and it just didn't feel good. Like a lot of criticism in the workplace when I was learning, and I remember being in shop being called in like effing W and all these kind of things because I asked someone for ID, and it just didn't feel good. And I was I'm still a very sensitive individual, but it just I've developed thicker skin over time. That's why I'm able to create lots of podcasts and things like that. And I've also been had constructive criticism, and that sometimes was a bit tough, but it's kind of needed to grow. And because I've developed a level of belief in me, it's really, really helped. And what I believe is when people come in and hurt us, sometimes they hurt us deliberately or unintentionally, it's because they've got their own model of the world. We all have different models and perceptions of the world. And one thing I hear is like, I wouldn't have behaved like that if I was another person. That's absolute rubbish, right? That is, no matter what they've done, if you had that, I genuinely believe, if you had the same beliefs, stories, experiences, and were feeling what that person felt in their body, you would have behaved exactly the same way. It's just we're different people in our own like bodies. We've got different beliefs, we've got different models of the world. So it does come back to a bit of compassion. Now, obviously, I'm not. It's not condoning or accepting what someone's done, but it's just that understanding and judgment. I believe genuinely hurts us. So, but I am going to go into some points in a second of how you can really work past some hurt, because it's not like dismiss it. Oh well, that person just had their own issues. No, we actually do feel these things as well, right? Of course, and but maybe for you, you're holding too much on to being hurt by someone that is just impacting the quality of your life, because that's been me. So let's do something about it. Let's go through some points. The first one is create a powerful identity for you. Anything you say after the words I am creates an identity to you. So use some empowering words, some feel great words that you want to feel about yourself, and then keep saying them to yourself again and again and again, right? Repetition. I personally say it to myself twice a day, 10 times each time, with some music, with full on emotions. This is an identity statement. The second one, remember and write out the greatness within inside you every single day. Every morning, I write down 5 points about the greatness and why I am an absolute gift to the world. Now, that may sound a bit like, wow, that's a bit cocky. Well, I rather feel good about myself than not, right? And it's not about like me. It's not a question saying like I'm like better than anyone. It's just about my own greatness. So start asking yourself about your own greatness every single day. And it may be awkward at first, but like with anything, it's a muscle. You'll build it up and get better. And the third one is praise yourself for any courageous action you take, especially if it doesn't go to plan, because that's getting you to take more courageous action. So if someone criticizes you and then you have an honest conversation with them, then praise yourself because you have taken that courageous action. Now, I've got a final point for you then as well. Just before I get onto that though, I want to mention again that if you want to keep up to date with all the latest podcasts, on my new podcast, the Men's Mental Health and Growth Podcast, you can do that by clicking in the show notes below. Okay, now this extra point I really want to share is just going back to what I said earlier, and it's about feeling compassion into another person. Again, it's not about, it's a point that it may be more difficult depending on what they've done for some people than others. But put yourself in someone else's shoes, their beliefs and what they felt about the world and what they saw in the world. Because when you can do that, you can feel more compassion for them. So when you do that, it will relieve maybe some of the frustration and tension you got towards someone. And forgiveness is a really good thing, because not forgiving someone is like one of my, this is a great analogy from one of my teachers who said this once. He said, not forgiving and just being angry at someone is like drinking poison and hoping the other person like suffers from it instead of you, right? So yeah, that's an extra point I really want to share there as well. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You'll improve other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.